adjust the microphone as it's all, man.
And welcome
Ha!
to Cowboy. I saw that one coming out of the corner of my eye. You look very
Nice beaver, Don. Nah.
You look very Eastery-ish, and I have the Easter eggy kind of colors as well. We're getting into the Easter season. Very springy.
This is a
looking.
very festive shirt, don't you
Yes,
all think?
very
It is
springy looking.
It's an Ariat.
Yep.
I don't know how to do that, so you
There
can
you
see
go.
it. There you go.
But, so we sort of match. Don dresses us.
We do match. We don't sort of match.
Well, I must say, it's very, very Eastery looking.
That's right.
Easter eggish
That's right.
looking.
Merry Easter, everyone.
Yes. Speaking of color, let's talk about smurfing. A lot of people have been talking about smurfing. Smurfing is what the Democrats and some Republicans use.
I
It's
would
a
say
term.
many Republicans do that.
But more Democrats. As a term for these little blue donations. Hence, little blue smurfing, okay? Smurfing is a criminal money laundering tactic. It basically breaks down these big illegal donations into these
Raphael
small,
Warnock.
reportable
Raphael
chunks
Warnock.
to hide the source. Well, there's been others, though.
Ass off.
Tammy Baldwin, Lindsey Graham. This is all
Yeah.
allegedly. Amy Klobuchar.
Thune.
So could
I
this
got a
be?
thune stuck in my throat.
Could this be why
I need some of this.
John Thune is doing the best he can to stop anything when it comes to the Save America Act? To quote the great Tom McDonald, who I just love his music, "Don't let the big door hit you where the good Lord split you, John Thune," because he couldn't get out of D.C. fast enough after at 3 a.m. closing down proceedings and then running home for 2 weeks for Easter vacation. But I'd say read the body language. He has been accused of being the recipient of smurfing.
As you all know, we are in the middle of a spirited and lengthy debate on the Save America Act. It's a piece of common sense legislation that we think is overwhelmingly supported by the American people, and we intend to keep pushing forward and ensure that the American people know whether their senators are for or against ensuring that only American citizens vote in American elections. You've probably heard some falsehoods coming out of the Democrats throughout the course of the week. Probably paramount among those was when Leader Schumer answered a question and said, well, we're not really opposed to photo ID. That was quickly dispelled when we had an opportunity to vote or to respond to a proposal put forward by the Senator from Ohio, Senator Husted, that would have passed essentially photo ID only, limited it to that one issue. And the Democrats not only blocked it, but their counterproposal was a piece of legislation that would actually specifically ban photo ID nationwide. So they're not serious about this issue, but they are clearly on the wrong side of the American people.
I
gotta be honest, John. If you were one of my employees, you wouldn't be one of my employees. I would fire you, man. You are terrible.
The House passed the Save America Act 11 months ago. You know what really gets me? The Democrats prove how much they're scared of the Save America Act because what did they say? They said we can't have any ICE agents anywhere near polling places. So obviously they know illegals vote. This is such a no-brainer. It is a slam dunk. Peter Berniger of Election Watch, he's looked at a lot of the smurfing. Again, the small donations, usually it's for Democrats, but he surmises, and again, it's an allegation, that John Thune laundered $1.4 million, apparently, through suspicious donors, almost 4,000 of them, in 714 unique smurfing episodes. So keep that in mind. The other thing is,
you people suck. You people suck so badly.
At this recording, they have gone home for Easter, and who knows what's going. It only takes 5 senators, by the way, to call for a new Senate leader. Let's.
I thought it was 17.
No, it only takes 5 to actually try to bring
the
it.
Vote can be, what is it, 20? 17?
I think it's 25. No, I have to look it up again.
John, I would fire you, man. You would not even be the dude that takes the garbage out.
And who the hell is a Senate parliamentarian? This is the GOP excuse to not pass the Save America Act. Schumer, by the way, hired this woman. It's Elizabeth McDonough. She wasn't fired by this Senate because of John Cornyn. He had a big hand in that. He saved her. Cornyn didn't think it was necessary to fire her. Anyhow,
well, it's necessary to fire you, John.
Yeah, apparently, Thune called for the talking filibuster by publicly calling out senators against it and removed them from committees. That's what he could do. But this parliamentarian apparently can nix the whole Save America Act because of the situation that it's not budgetary. So, I mean, who the heck? This is so ridiculous. Just so ridiculous. You know what else is ridiculous?
People suck.
Get a load of this. North Carolina.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, folks, Iran isn't the problem. The problem is here. North Carolina State University hosted an Islamic scholar, Abdullah Qadra, who essentially is okay with pedophilia.
About Lady Aisha, God be pleased with her, our mother, the mother of believers. Lady Aisha, God be pleased with her. Yeah, she was young. Now, what's the age of marriage in the U.S.? Every state has a different age. There are some countries outside in the world, girls can marry at 12 years old. Okay, what's the issue of this? If in Africa, girls reach maturity much younger, even here in the U.S., I know we have some students from our families, from our acquaintances, the girls grade 5 and they reach maturity, they reach puberty. Very briefly, the worst enemies of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in his own time, did not object on this and did not say to him, oh, look, he's marrying a young lady. And in Islam, it's understood, it by consensus, you can marry a child, yeah, but you can never have the relationship with her until he's psychologically, physically able. If a father is loving and wanting to marry and give his daughter in marriage to someone who is righteous, well, if the Prophet is here, everyone would love to do that and give his daughter to the Prophet, peace be upon him. So there is nothing wrong with that. That's their culture. You cannot measure your culture to their culture. In the U.S., go to the history. You will find the age of marriage sometimes was 9 years old, and everyone can search now on the internet. It can be 9 years old, 8 years old. It doesn't matter if in that community it's okay and there's no physical harm, there's no harm, psychological harm, and there's no problem, and it is by consent of all parties.
Drinking warm water with cinnamon before bed eliminates this parasite from the pancreas and resets blood sugar levels and reverses.
What's the issue with that?
You are some sick. You
might have to bleep that.
Hey, maybe that's okay in other countries. We don't do that here. We don't want that here. And quite honestly, a woman, a girl, when she becomes of age, should be able to marry whoever she wants, not who her father tells her to marry.
And who can beat her into doing whatever they want. Here's the thing. Again, this is in America. They're trying to deport this guy. Meanwhile, a group of Jewish people from North Carolina and rabbis around the country are writing in support of this guy. They want him to have asylum, and they want him released on bond. He's an asylum seeker currently being held at Stewart Detention Center in Georgia, pending deportation. And there are Jewish leaders in this country that want him to stay here. Tell me this is not why we have a situation, because Islam is not compatible with the Constitution. It's just not. This is pedophilia.
This is moral bankruptcy. That's where we're at right now, ladies and gentlemen. And you guys have no idea. We say this every 2 years. You have no idea how important the upcoming midterms are. Mm-hmm. You must vote, and you must vote with your heart and your mind. Do not let the midterms pass without you being engaged and you being exercising your privilege to vote. This place is becoming a morally bankrupt country. It's got to stop. We'll be back.
Patriots Relief, your America First CBD company. We are Christian, conservative, and committed to helping you feel your best. Are you tired of chronic pain holding you back? It's time for a change. Experience the remarkable healing properties of CBD, expertly designed to alleviate pain and promote internal balance. Patriots Relief is here for you. Visit our website or call now. Use your promo code to unlock exclusive savings. Patriots Relief, helping you get out of pain and live life to the fullest.
I love our little picker.
Yep.
Eric Woolard. Go follow him on YouTube or wherever else you can find him. Eric Woolard.
Picker.
He's a little picker. Hey, you know
I'm
what?
not even going to go
Jeff
there.
McKellop found a woodpecker in his backyard, and he said it was huge. And so, of course, we had to make fun of him and say,
don't even go there.
Jeff's looking at a big pecker in the backyard.
Don't even go there.
I don't have to bleep that out, though.
You are like in rare form today.
No,
absolutely
must be
in rare
the shirt.
form. Okay.
Must be the shirt.
Yeah, it's the springtime, you know?
That's right.
All right, let's get down to more business here. At Data Republican, you should follow her if you don't.
Yes.
$15 million plus nuclear security contractor is apparently the guy who's pushing a lot of this no kings that's going on lately, as well as Neville Roy Singham, who is the tech giant that sold his company for almost $1 billion, ran to China, where he lives and is married to the founder of Code Pink. That's all you need to know about what's going on with the no kings. I want to know what king has ever been elected overwhelmingly.
Yeah. Last
time I noticed, if you were doing the no kings protest like that and there really was a king, you'd be in prison. But that's another story. Anyhow, there's a couple other things that I haven't mentioned lately as to how deep things are with the FBI. We're going to get into this with Thomas Speciale in the next segment. There's a woman named Christine Maxwell. Name ring a bell? Ghislaine Maxwell's sister. She controls the FBI computer systems, including national security and the Epstein files.
Isn't that weird, Donna, how that worked out?
Apparently, they're trying to delete a lot of them.
Apparently.
Then there's Isabel Maxwell, her other sister. She's co-founder of Magellan, which is an early search engine, and runs the WEF. I mean, this is unbelievable. And UN security computers and technology via the UN and NATO. Now, I don't know if that's changed since, but a couple of weeks ago, that actually was the case. I mean, whose side are these people on? Well,
morally bankrupt. I said it last segment.
It is. It is. Okay, speaking of morally bankrupt, Abigail Spanberger. Okay, she is in the process, almost overnight, of ruining Virginia.
Yeah, she is.
This is unbelievable. Virginia Rep Tom Garrett loses it over gun restrictions in conservative areas. They want to make a criminal class out of millions of people.
I literally, Mr. Speaker, wondered if we were being pranked when I read the words in this bill. You see, this bill would prevent people in Virginia from carrying on any, quote, any public street, highway, alley, etc., on or about his person. So, Mr. Speaker, the presidential nominee that carried those localities was fond of Venn diagrams. In my district, we have these things, just for people in Nova, called pickup trucks. This is a circle representing people in the rest of Virginia who own pickup trucks. Now, this is a circle representing the people in the rest of Virginia who own pickup trucks who also own firearms. And I just want to add a circle representing the people in the rest of Virginia who own pickup trucks, firearms, and like to shoot recreationally or hunt, because you were so kind as to put a carve-out in there. That's this. Your Venn diagram is one circle. Now, I understand that this sort of virtue signaling might win you votes in Nova, but for those of us who live in the real world, which I like to call Rova, this is absolutely positively not something that can be enforced. We've literally created a criminal class out of millions, not hyperbolic, of Virginians, and defined as an assault weapon a single-shot break-action .410 shotgun or a bolt-action rifle with an integral magazine if the barrel's threaded, which enhances lethality exactly none. And while we pardon all kinds of people who are committing crimes and reduce sentences and give judges the discretion to do things like waive off your DUI offense where you might have killed my child had circumstances gone differently, we're creating criminals out of people who want to drive to their next door neighbor's farm in their pickup truck. If this bill passes, it will be challenged and it will fail and it will cost even more taxpayer dollars to try to defend this gook, Mr. Speaker. I would urge a no vote on this bill.
Who was the goofball behind
say
him?
that. Who's the goofball going behind him?
Oh, well.
But
Hey,
here's,
Virginia, listen, the rest of you in the United States that are going to vote during the midterms, go look at Virginia and see what happens when you don't overwhelm the system with the right vote.
And New Jersey.
Do it.
New Jersey's the other one.
Texas, you are so on the fence, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Spanberger's biggest donor is a New Yorker named George Soros. Never would have guessed. Not to mention the fact, I don't have the exact numbers behind me, but there were something like 330,000 mysterious votes that suddenly appeared during Spanberger's final count.
It's weird
just
how
like
that
New
always
Jersey.
happens.
Just like New Jersey. It is totally weird. And you know what?
It never happens to a Republican.
No, never happens. It always goes the
especially
other
a
way.
MAGA candidate.
No, and he's got a point too. This guy Garrett's got a point. Okay, if a bartender can get thrown in prison for letting somebody drive home drunk, how come these judges aren't held accountable when they let these guys out over and over and over again? We're talking 20, 30, 40 times in some cases.
You used to be sharp, quick, full of ideas. Now you are running on fumes by noon and calling it normal. That is not aging. That is what happens when your body has been running on synthetic chemicals that give you a spike, a crash, and a fog that gets worse every year. And here's the part nobody talks about. Caffeine stops working as well over time. You need more and more just to feel baseline. That is not energy. That is a cycle. But here is what changes.
And you know what? You got to hand it to the Dems, though. You know what they do? They get people who were Democrats to actually run as Republicans. And we've got a perfect example in Utah. This guy, John Curtis, okay? He's in his first term. He took Mitt Romney's place. So you think he's going to do better? No. He opposed the SAVE Act. He's a total puppet for Mitt Romney. He was a registered Democrat most of his adult life. This is what the Democrats are so good at doing. I'm telling you, if we don't get the Save America Act passed, we are totally screwed. On a happier note, John Solomon is reporting that John Brennan might be being looked at finally, and Comey has been subpoenaed as a witness with all this intel community.
Yeah, but the judge is just going to throw all this out.
Well,
don't you know?
They can do it in Florida. They might not have that much of a luxury. You got to love Caitlin Bennett. Not only is she beautiful, but she's smart. And she does this man on the street interview, or women on the street, or whatever your gender on the street interview. Here she is, man on the street interview.
With mental midgets.
Who won the Civil War? England.
So England versus who in the Civil War?
France.
What continent are we on right now?
The US of A? What? Oh my gosh, I'm getting clipped.
What year was 9/11?
2012.
Who bombed Pearl Harbor?
Spain.
So how many total senators does that mean we have in the United States?
Oh, 50 states, 3 times 50, 65.
What year did we free the slaves?
I should know this. This is a bad look.
1962.
Who is the commander-in-chief of the military?
Learned about this one at school, I think. It starts with a D. It's like donut or something.
Do you know what amendment freed the slaves?
We'll say the third.
What's the third amendment?
The right to bear arms.
Who played the Super Bowl halftime show?
Bad Bunny.
Who sings the song Espresso?
Oh, Sabrina Carpenter.
What does GRWM stand for on TikTok?
Get ready with me.
Who is Taylor Swift engaged to?
Travis Kelce.
Okay. Who sings the song Espresso?
Sabrina Carpenter.
What movie is Regina George from?
You look like a fucking idiot. I'm annoyed with that.
We are so screwed. See, they knew all of the cultural stuff, but couldn't tell you anything about history. Andrew Breitbart did say politics is downstream from culture.
I am so glad, ladies and gentlemen. And Ron, we don't have time for the other video that we were going to put in here, so don't worry about it. I am so glad that we are playing the back nine of the golf course.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm also
Donna?
very glad, our kids are grown. But then we have grandkids that are going to be exposed to all this garbage. By the way, when we were talking about, the problems with Islam, there's nobody who knows it better than Tommy Robinson, who is here in the United States visiting, and he is going to be at the RAV warehouse on April 11th. If you are out on Long Island, I highly suggest
Say it the
you
right
go there.
way.
Long Island. It's not far from Massapequa.
Talk like Slick Rick.
I can't. It's in Nassau County. I kind of lost a little bit of my accent now that I've been down here 20
Every
years.
once in a while it pops up.
But April, coffee.
Yep.
I like coffee.
Meatballs.
I like coffee and meatballs. Spaghetti and meatballs. April 11th, Tommy Robinson at the RAV warehouse. Be there or be square, because he is a superstar. And, man, he's trying to wake up America to what happened in the UK. God forbid we become the UK. We'll be back right after this.
Hey, everybody. You guys know with Cowboy Logic, we don't take any sponsors without fully vetting them and checking them out. Sugar Creek Goods is one of those companies that we have partnered with for a number of years. They're big supporters of the Jan 6 community, and we appreciate not only the fact that they do that, but they make great American-made products. SugarCreekGoods.com. Don't forget that. We've got the Cowboy Logic collection that they designed specifically for Donna and me. Tack Room, Barn Party, and Silver Fox, along with the Silver Fox Body Butter. Let me tell you guys about the Silver Fox, okay? That scent. My mom, when she passed away, I had one bottle of cologne that she bought me years before. I still had some in it. I hung on to that. I've had it all these years. She died in 2005. I sent that cologne to Sugar Creek Goods, and I said, can you emulate that smell? So I'll never forget it. This is the product of that. This is the result. Sugar Creek Goods, Silver Fox, and the Silver Fox Body Butter. They nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. It's the same thing. It's like my mom's in the room with me. SugarCreekGoods.com. Promo code 1776 gets you a big discount. And if you pick up the Cowboy Logic collection, Tack Room soap, Barn Party soap, and the Silver Fox soap, along with the Silver Fox Body Butter, she'll send proceeds to Stand in the Gap for you. Support the J6ers. Support our sponsors. Go to SugarCreekGoods.com.
Justice loaded, ready to crack. This is my calling, caught in pain, born for the fight, baptized in flame, painted the target, thunder overhead, shockwaves screaming, bury the dead, never forget. Never forget.
Never forget, everybody. Hey, listen, we're going to be announcing this formally in the near future, but for those of you that watch us every week, we have been picked up by Real America's Music as part of their music lineup and roster. We're totally honored for this. Our first release is going to be for Memorial Day with a song called Every Star, Every Stripe. And they'll release that, and hopefully you'll send that to #1 someplace on Billboard. But Never Forget is a song that I wrote a while back that was inspiration from Jeff McKellop. You guys know him, J6er, Special Forces. He sent us a very long email on 9/11 in 23, and he was locked up in a prison. And that song is based on that email that he sent us. So maybe that will be released as well. But we've got another Patriot that's with us. And
big time.
Yeah, you guys strap in, get something to write with, because for the next 3 segments, you will be educated, as
Absolutely.
will we.
You need to get a pencil and paper on this one.
Got my pencil.
Let's bring him on. Thomas Speciale. There he is.
Hey, man, nice lid you got there, brother. We like that. Nice.
Thank you.
Whenever you have a cowboy hat, it's always great when you can wear one. Okay.
This is my first one. This is my first legit hat.
Nice, dude. Very nice.
But you said that you might be moving out west, so you're going to have to get a few more.
Yeah, that's the plan. My wife's family's out in Arizona. She's made a lot of sacrifices for me over the years, and I'm going to take her back closer to home.
That's good, because you want to get out of Abigail Spanberger's reach as well.
Yeah, man.
I can't imagine
that
what that one's going to be like.
That was salt no, that was iodine in the wound.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like acid right in the face, Donna. Thank you.
Sorry, I can't resist. Let me tell everybody about. First of all, your intelligence is community experience is amazing. Since 2005, you served in the military or the intelligence community as a subject matter expert on intelligence, terrorism, and the Middle East conflicts. And recently, you served as the senior advisor on counterintelligence and security issues for Tulsi Gabbard, the Director of National Intelligence. And you are still an active duty Army reservist, and we do thank you for your service. But, we got to get right to the Middle East and what's going on. Tops of the list is what's been happening lately, and that's the resignation of Joe Kent.
Yep. And we were hard on him, man. We were, last week, we were pretty hard on Joe. So
give us your take on that.
Either chastise me or support me.
Yeah, well, I think that it's kind of a mixed situation because, Joe is a patriot. Joe served the country. He loves the country. He served in, combat, 11 combat deployments. He, tragically, he also lost his wife, Shannon. He's a Gold Star husband, which very few people I know can say that. Or have to say that. So I don't want to take anything away from sort of his experience and his sacrifices he's made for the country. They far outweigh, I think, even mine, most of the people I know. But at the same time, he was put in a position at the ODNI, which is an intelligence community position. And Joe is an operator. He comes from the operator community, the Special Forces community, and doesn't really understand the role of the intelligence community with regard to understanding threats and then advising the president on what the president's options are or what the president's circumstances are, and then ultimately what the president's options are. And, I think he did the right thing by resigning and leaving because he didn't agree, maybe for whatever reason. I think there's a lot more going on with Joe's resignation, though, than he didn't support the war against Iran because Trump's made it clear this isn't a forever war. He's made it clear, that he tried every possible way to negotiate with the Iranians, but they weren't negotiating in good faith. And so, Ultimately, he had given them a red line, and we have a president for the first time in my lifetime, going back maybe except for Reagan, that was like meant business. When he said something, he meant business. And, the world takes Donald Trump very seriously because of that mentality that and the reason he can do that is he's unlike any other president we've ever had, because he's not beholden to the party. He's not beholden to what the Republican Party wants to do, or he's not beholden what the Democrats. Thank God he's not beholden to them. So he does what's in the best interest of the American people. The Iranians have been threatening us for 47 years. They've threatened every one of their neighbors. They've been threatening death to Israel and death to America. And it's time for them to go. Trump is not starting a war with Iran. He is ending a war with Iran that has gone on for 47 years.
Go back to Joe for a second. And there have been stories floating around about the fact that he may have leaked sensitive information or compromised sensitive information. What do you know about that? And if he did, how do you feel about that?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I don't think he leaked classified information. If he had leaked classified information, I think they would have acted sooner. I think more than likely what was going on was Joe was probably talking to media personalities. And as in a government position, you have access to, in the intelligence community, what we would call like strategic insights or plans and intentions. And that is the most highest. That's basically operational security information to our foreign adversaries. And so if he's talking, let's just hypothetically say he's talking to Tucker Carlson or Candace Owens, let's just say, and he's having a personal conversation off the record with them. But he's talking about the plans, intentions, or the kind of he called it palace intrigue is what he called it. Well, that is not palace intrigue. That is actually plans and intentions and strategic indications of what our country may be doing in the future. So if the Iranians or the Chinese are listening to Tucker Carlson's phone, or whoever, maybe not the Iranians, but the Chinese, we know, have penetrated the telecommunications network in the United States, it would not be a surprise that the information that he's discussing with, say, Tucker Carlson or Candace Owens is bleeding out into the hands of the Chinese, and the Chinese may give it to the Iranians. So I don't think that he was revealing classified information as much as he was discussing operational security issues. And it's very likely that, our own intelligence collection would see indications of that in the signals collection we have, say, against the Chinese, the Iranians, or the Russians.
Here's the thing, but here's what gets me. I mean, he took like less than 24 hours to run to Tucker Carlson. I mean, it's just not good judgment.
I have about Joe Kent's resignation. In the military, we have our general orders, and that is that, I man my post until properly relieved. And I think that Joe Kent, for all intents and purposes, had taken a post. He had taken a position within the administration to guard a post, and he abandoned his post. Yeah. But Joe Kent was not a Republican. He never was a Republican.
He never was.
And, these are some of the same concerns people have had about Tulsi. And
that's what I was going to say. We got less than a minute. Is this going to affect Tulsi's standing?
I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not, too.
I do, too.
I hope not, too.
I hope not.
She's like Margaret Thatcher, in my opinion. She really is.
We've got so little time left. I want to close this out, this segment, with something of humor. Be honest.
Uh-oh.
In a cage fight, could Tulsi Gabbard kick your ass? In a cage fight. Be honest.
I'll never strike a woman in anger.
I get it. I'm just talking skill to skill.
I would let her win.
Because I'm telling you, Jeff McKellop, I think she could kick Jeff McKellop's ass. I think she could.
Whether she could beat me or not, I would have to let the DNI whoop my ass, because it would just be bad optics for our country.
All right, we come back with
I wouldn't go up against her. Tulsi's a badass.
When we come back, I want to talk about the culture of what's going on with Iran, because that's huge. We'll be back with more with Thomas Speciale right after this.
Tulsi rocks.
You used to be sharp, quick, full of ideas. Now you are running on fumes by noon and calling it normal.
If I was the deep state and I wanted to destroy America, I would rig the election with a puppet candidate. One that was so compromised that they would never say a word about it. I would create a false flag that allows for mail-in ballots. I would be in charge of the ballot counting machines. I would create a false flag to blame all who question the results of the election. If I was the deep state, I would prosecute anyone that went against me. I would sue and prosecute anyone that spoke up about the fraudulent election. I would use my powers to shut down all your internet businesses and bankrupt you. If I was the deep state, I would make everyone an example why you should never question a Democrat ever winning an election. I would imprison my foes. I would use my corrupt DAs and blackmailed judges to destroy you. I would make sure all crimes I ever committed never happened. I would prosecute my biggest competition. I would make sure they could never run for office ever again. If I was the deep state, I would convince everyone that Ukraine Nazis were good and women are men. If I was the deep state, I would own every politician that mattered. If I was the deep state, I would push my pedophilia ambitions on you. If I was the deep state, you'd question your sexual identity but not the medical establishment. If I was the deep state, you would fear to ever resist me. If I was the deep state, you would wish I was really the devil. If I was the deep state, I would say mission accomplished.
Deep state not getting drained fast enough, in my opinion.
Tom knows a lot about that.
Yes. I actually, it's not draining the swamp, it's draining the cesspool. Because a swamp is a viable ecosystem. it's a cesspool. I mean, don't even get me started on what Thune's been doing the last couple of weeks. We'll get to that in headlines and everything else. But let's get back to Iran, because you are a Middle East expert. What really gets me is how the other countries, and maybe I'm not a Middle East expert by any stretch of the imagination, but to me, the Arab countries are not stepping up to the plate. It's like, okay, let all the schlubs here from the United States fight our war for us again. And I'm getting a little sick of it, quite honestly.
Yeah, I have said for many, many years that the Islamic faith is in the middle of a religious civil war between the Sunnis and the Shia. And most of the Arab countries are Sunni, and then you've got Iran that is principally a Shia country, and there are Shia scattered throughout, and there's Shia in Lebanon. And I know that this seems like it gets kind of deep in the weeds, but the reality is it's a mosaic of crisis, because they have tribal conflicts, then they have religious conflicts, then they have political conflicts between, say, Iran and Iraq, or Yemen and Saudi Arabia, or Syria, which sits directly next to Israel, Egypt to Israel, etc. So this has been a mosaic of crisis since the beginning of time, practically, and literally from the beginning of time. And so with regard to the current situation, the reason that the GCC countries, I think, are sort of standing back is because they don't want to create an additional conflict between what's left of the Iranian state after this issue that we're resolving with the Iranian regime. So if the Gulf states were to sort of participate actively against what I call the Iran castration war plan. I wrote this war plan, or I participated in writing this war plan at the Defense Intelligence Agency from 2011 to 2014. And back then I called it the Iran castration war plan, where we would essentially annihilate their power projection capability and destroy the IRGC, and then turn the country over to the Iranian people, who we think want to come back into the Western sphere of influence. But what I'm getting at is that the GCC countries, I think wisely, are staying out of the conflict because they want to be able to work with the survivors. They want to be able to work with the Iranian people to bring some more stability to the region. But if they participate, then that would increase the grievances that already exist. And I think that that's a wise decision on their part not to directly participate against Iran proper.
Yeah, but that puts us in a bad situation, too, because, 20 years in Afghanistan and the Taliban take over in 2 hours. I mean, it's ridiculous. And we still have is it like $14 million a week or whatever it is we still send to the Taliban, and the Congress just keeps letting it happen? It's so wrong on so many levels. But before you came on, when we were talking before you came on the air, you're talking about how the culture is recent. I mean, we're talking a culture that, got off camels or still has camels, only 50 years ago, 60 years ago. It's almost like they need a renaissance. And it's just not happening because, in my opinion, it's such a way of life. They're willing to die for what they're going to do. They're not going to progress.
Yeah, it really is. Islam is a tragedy, a human tragedy, really, when you think about it, because they were a very, very sophisticated civilization until Islam was born in 1300 years ago, right? And they were advancing along properly until Islam came along, and then Islam basically threw them back into the Dark Ages. And they were living in the Dark Ages all the way up until the time that oil was discovered in like the early 1900s, right? And so culturally, they are still stuck to a great extent outside of the inner cities, outside of the cities, and outside of whatever oil industry there is. To a great extent, they're still living in the 7th century. And because of that, that is why Islam has such a death grip on the people, where they literally, I have said for a long time, they are a death cult. They worship death. I mean, why else would you get, 70 virgins when you die, and except to inspire people to die, especially young men to die for Allah? Why else would your faith give you 70 virgins? I mean, it's just an asinine
but their
religious
families,
concept.
which are dirt poor, if they, put their son
Correct.
up to get killed, they get paid thousands every month when they make
70 virgins. Let's think about this. The math doesn't even add up. Okay, there's no way that every Muslim dude that dies could get 70 virgins. There's not enough virgins on earth
Only he
or
can make
in
a
heaven.
joke out of this.
I've done this research,
This is
dude.
the point I'm making. It's like totally ridiculous that they would believe this, and that they actually will die for this faith that is literally just sending them into a grist mill for the purpose of, maintaining the faith. It just doesn't. Yeah. It's just it's
well,
ridiculous.
how many Muslims are on the planet?
Well, I don't know.
What
There's
is
like
it?
a billion.
1.6 billion? I mean, there's a lot of
70
them,
million
okay?
in Iran.
Multiply that times 77, everybody, and then you've got to make sure that each one of those 77 is female, which is half of the population, and then you got to find 77 virgins. The math doesn't add up with Islam. It just doesn't add up. So that's, hey, listen.
Could you imagine if he drank?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Can you only imagine? Tom, we got a couple of minutes left in this segment. I want to go back to boots on the ground, okay? We've got some special forces guys that we hang out with and talk with a lot. Some of them are when
drinking warm water with cinnamon before bed eliminates this parasite from the pancreas and resets blood sugar levels and reverses type 2. This is the last time I'm sharing this here. Just a 15-second native trick.
we talk about Iran or say, we need to go boots on the ground and we need to wipe this damn country to the ground, turn it into sand, okay, or glass. Others are saying, man, I don't want to get involved in another 20-year BS like we've been in, where we're fighting wars for politicians. What are your thoughts on that? We got about a minute and a half for you on that one.
I don't think it's necessary. I just don't. I think that if we castrate the regime, we can put them back in the box. The Iranian people the vast majority of the Iranian people hate the mullahs, the ayatollahs. So they're ready for a change, first of all. So we don't have to kill them, and there's no reason to kill them. So you get sort of two schools of thought, especially from the operator community. You get the school of thought that we need to kill them all, and then you get the school of thought that says, I saw too many of my buddies die for a never-ending war, and there's no reason to get involved. I think that there is this middle ground of the castration of the regime, which will allow Iran to move into the Western sphere of influence. And, I think that that's the right course of action. I do think, based on the 82nd Airborne going in there, the Rangers, Marine, there's a MEB going in there, I do suspect that Donald Trump is going to secure the Straits of Hormuz. And so it'll be very, very localized. These exercises have been being exercised for years and years and years. Kish Island, Keshem Island, there's several.
Yeah, I know Karg Island was one of them that they were talking about. It's.
Do you think the Strait of Hormuz will be renamed Strait of Trump?
God.
I got to close these segments with these poignant questions. He brought that up the other day. Now, he's trolling Iran. We know that. Okay?
I'm for it. I would vote for this tomorrow.
All right.
All right. We got you for one more segment, man, and I am so glad.
I want to bring that here, though, because this is the big story. I mean, we have a bigger Islamic threat right here in our own backyard. So we'll be back with more on Cowboy Logic with Thomas Speciale right after this. Stay with us.
Confidence that a good pickup man brings to an event. Nobody will ever give him credit for it. Thousands and thousands of miles driven, hundreds and hundreds of hours of being a good steward, and a horseman will never be recognized. But that one instant when he might have saved your son, your brother, your friend, by being in the right place at the right time.
Barn Party Drummers, you guys rock every week, and we would be remiss and we would get in trouble if we didn't say Dana. So now we've said it.
Again, CowboyLogicLaser.com. CowboyLogicLaser.com.
Hey, let me tell you something about these drumsticks.
Anything you want.
Ron
laser.
makes these, as you guys know. You can go to CowboyLogicLaser.com to get them. They're signature series. And guess who just bought a pair?
Who?
Tim Roberts.
Oh, okay. Our
CBD guy. He bought a pair of drumsticks. Maybe he plays drums. All right. Brother Tom, let's get you back in here, man, and start. I want to ask you a question that I've been thinking about here for a while with regard to Iran. If I'm not mistaken, and please correct me if I am, Iran, when it was Persia, was very prospering, did very well. And I know that there are a lot of Iranians that wouldn't mind going back to that region being called Persia. And that they, as you told us on the break, many of them don't like being called Iranians. Now, obviously, Trump's plan is to put this into the people and let them make their own destiny, as they say, by eliminating these bad actors. Do you see Iran becoming, once again, Persia? And what would the rest of the Middle East think about that?
Well, I mean, that second part of that is probably the more interesting part. I'm not so sure that the rest of the Middle East would feel any differently than the Iranian people. I think that the transition into being called Iran, all of this was done by the Ayatollahs. There'd always been, these religious zealots, but now they're living under a totalitarian theocracy, or they were, until Donald Trump came along and removed that totalitarian theocracy. I think that there's a good chance that there will be discussions to go back to being called Persia. There's a good possibility that the GCC countries would support it.
I think that conservatives and maybe conservative media could actually play a role in color revolution if we just started referring to Iran now as Persia.
That would be great. What do
you think?
I mean, you could do it, but probably just stimulating the conversation is probably better, because we don't want to get in front of the Iranian people. All right, we want it. The Shah's son is actively involved in trying to sort of be a participant in the new government, whatever government that form that takes. And so I'm sure they'll be having that conversation, and I think that it's important for us to support what the Iranian people want to do.
All right, I want to bring it here now. You testified before the original, the sham J6 committee. That must have been interesting because you were there on J6, and we're very close with a lot of the Jan 6ers. Very frustrating to us because Barry Loudermilk's not doing anything, and then he decides to retire. They keep wanting to, put it under, kind of just sweep it away and hope it goes away. Meanwhile, you have someone like Mark Wayne Mullen, who's now there at DHS, who thought that Michael Byrd was a hero after shooting Ashley Babbitt in cold blood. Because...
Don't get me started again.
But here's the point. I mean, there's such a... it's a 180. The cops are so great in D.C. because they protect. I call them the Capitol Police. I call them the Jeffrey Epsteins of D.C. because they have dirt.
The best magnesium for your brain. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Robert Love. I'm a neuroscientist. I have a medical clinic in Florida where we are reversing Alzheimer's.
On so many people, so many of these politicians, they kiss the butts of the Capitol Police and in some respects the Metro Police. And it's a whole different culture. Whereas as soon as you come out of D.C., they hate the police, they hate ICE, they hate everything else. And how do we get these politicians to wake up to what's really going on? I mean, the FBI's done nothing. And, it's very frustrating.
Yeah. I think that, wow, there's so many elements of that. Yeah. First and foremost, I would say that you're right about the Capitol Police and sort of protecting the members of Congress. They have a lot of dirt on them, probably. They participate. They guard these people all the time. So there is this relationship between them. We just saw them vote, basically, to not make public how the money was spent on these sexual assault allegations.
The $18 million slush fund. Okay, so they vote against that.
Stuff become public.
Yeah,
and then they're covering up their own dirt. These things are problems. The FBI And it's interesting because Joe Kent also, in his Tucker Carlson interview, talks about how the FBI was not cooperating with his investigation from the National Counterterrorism Center on like the Butler and the Robinson case. And the reason I bring that up is that the FBI, people don't understand this, but the FBI both is investigating these things and they're also protecting our politicians. That is what they're doing. And to some degree, we've got to protect them because if they're involved with like foreign adversaries and stuff like that, and we can flip that and get bad information to our foreign adversaries, sometimes we want to do that. That's what counterintelligence does, is we identify these insidious types of vulnerabilities and threats, and then we use that against our adversary rather than them using it against us. It's there's a lot of nuances to it. But we have a problem with the FBI because the FBI is both a law enforcement body as well as an intelligence body. And you can't do both well in the same entity. That's why I've drafted an executive order for the president to essentially remake the counterintelligence community, because the counterintelligence community should be focused on one thing and one thing only, and that is protecting our nation from our foreign adversaries. And when the FBI is doing it, they're kind of their hat is mixed, and they're trying to convict people of crimes and at the same time do intelligence. It's just not well done. And so, to your point about the Capitol Police J6, a great number of people in particular the Republicans, want the conversation regarding J6 to just go away. That it was an unfortunate event that happened. It shouldn't have happened, and we need to get away from it as soon as possible, because the Democrats are using it as a bludgeon against Republicans. Every Republican that runs gets asked the question, was it an insurrection or not? And if they say it wasn't an insurrection, then they're automatically...
All right.
He froze again.
Yeah. Let me ask you that, Tom, let me ask you this. We got a minute and a half left. When is the last time that the FBI, sadly, was not a failure? Because even Khalid Sheikh Mohammed said that the reason that they kept hitting us pre-9/11 was because anytime they would do that, it was handled as a law enforcement problem, and they'd stick the FBI on it.
Correct.
It wasn't until somebody that I really don't like, Bush 43, brought the wrath of the American military on these guys that it was able to stop. You got 30 seconds, man. Why has the FBI, in my opinion, always been a complete failure? It's never been anything but that.
All of the three-letter agencies are corrupted.
You got 30 seconds.
It's because, as I said, they have a dual purpose. They're doing Crim and they're doing Intel. And oftentimes they conflate them, and that, when you're doing Intel, you don't want prosecutions necessarily. You want to understand the threat and prevent a threat and get ahead of a threat. Whereas on the Crim side, you want to prosecute somebody for perpetrating a crime. Yeah. So it's not, that's why my recommendation to the administration has been to separate the two, so that Intel can do Intel stuff and Crim can do Crim stuff. And then we could put we could make the FBI the untouchables again, instead of, this Stasi mixed bag of...
From your lips
maybe
to God's
KSM
ears.
was on to something, man.
Yeah, really. ThomasSpeciale.com, folks, or Speciale 4 VA. Tom, thank you so much. Great insight. Wish we had actually more time. We'll be back with more Cowboy Logic right after this.
Patriots Relief, your America First CBD company. We are Christian, conservative, and committed to helping you feel your best. Are you tired of chronic pain holding you back? It's time for a change. Experience the remarkable healing properties of CBD, expertly designed to alleviate pain and promote internal balance. Patriots Relief is here for you. Visit our website or call now. Use your promo code to unlock exclusive savings. Patriots Relief, helping you get out of pain and live life to the fullest.
No more swamp games are selling us out. A true conservative will stand up and shout, fire Lindsay. Hi, Mark Lynch. Lindsey Graham flip-flops way too long. Hated Trump, now sings his song. Loved endless wars, pushed amnesty too, flipped on Supreme Court when it suited you. Fire Lindsey Graham, enough is enough. Hire Martin Lynch, send the real stuff. No more swamp games are selling us out. A true conservative will stand up and shout, fire Lindsey. Hire Martin Lynch. Call Georgia to toss legal votes away. Got it slaps for fundraising the wrong way. Dickheads in the swamp selling us out each time while our jobs leave and our people pay the fine. Fire Lindsey Graham, enough is enough. Hire Martin Lynch, send the real stuff. No more swamp games are selling us out. A true conservative will stand up and shout, fire Lindsey. Hire Martin Lynch. 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 Fire Lindsey.
Yeah.
If it were really just wear and tear in your joints, then why are there days you wake up worse even though you didn't do anything? The answer is inside the joint, and nobody ever teaches you that. Most folks think joint pain gets better with rest, a warm compress, and some anti-inflammatories. But let me ask you something real quick. If it were really just wear and tear, then why do you wake up feeling worse on the days you barely moved? That doesn't make sense, and that's exactly the problem. The truth is simple. Resting doesn't fix your joints. A lot of times it actually makes things worse, and it's not your fault. It's what everybody has always been told. What no one explains is why this happens. When you feel pain, stiffness, popping, the issue isn't only your cartilage, your bones, or your weight. The real problem is inside the joint, an invisible process that keeps going even when you're not moving at all. That's why you wake up stiff. That's why your joints feel like they rust overnight. That's why painkillers, ice, rest, and random stretches never touch the real cause. Everyone treats the outside, but what's destroying your joints is happening on the inside. And once you understand what's actually attacking your joints from the inside, it becomes obvious why nothing you've tried has worked. Ice numbs the pain, but it slows the internal healing flow. Anti-inflammatories take the edge off, but they mess with your natural.
Yeah. Fire Lindsay, everybody. Fire Lindsay. Hire Mark Lynch. We have known this man for many years, ladies and gentlemen, and we endorse him. He's a friend. We trust him. And if South Carolina will send Mark Lynch to Washington, D.C., you will have a warrior. A warrior in the Capitol. Mark Lynch, welcome to Cowboy Logic, my friend.
There he is.
How'd you like that
it's
intro,
awesome
buddy?
to see y'all. That was fabulous. I love it. Thank y'all so much. That's
Absolutely,
wonderful.
man.
I think that'll be a hit
Yes,
on all
sir.
the radio stations for sure.
There you go.
That's got
Get
a
that
great
playing
beat.
up in South
That's
Carolina.
so well done.
All right,
Absolutely.
let me do a quick introduction here, because what I think is huge is the fact that you actually live in South Carolina, unlike Lindsey Graham, who I think lives in Israel more than he lives even in D.C. or South Carolina, the way he's been lately. But you've been married, 37, 38 years to your lovely wife, Sarah.
And you married up. You married up, Mark. You married up. I know.
Absolutely.
I'm in that club.
We both did.
That's right. That's right, brother.
Yes, sir.
But what's really important is that you are a successful businessman. You have 110 Carolinians working with you. You kept your business open, appliance and center. Actually, it's a Lynch Appliance Center, right? I believe is the name of it.
And furniture.
And furniture.
Yes.
But you kept it open during COVID. And that's huge in and of itself. I mean, you know what it's like to have to sign the checks, okay, as opposed to just cash them. And to me, I mean, this is huge. Folks, please follow him at Mark Lynch, South Carolina, and Lynch4FORSenate.com. So tell us about what's going on as far as your campaign is concerned, because you really are picking up steam, thankfully.
Yeah, wow, it's been fabulous. We had a Rasmussen poll, a serious poll. We got the result back a week ago with 1,000 completes. Lindsey Graham is at 45%, under 50. I'm at 33, and with an informed ballot, Lindsey drops to 23, and I go above him to 34%. So it's happening.
Yeah,
South
that's
Carolina.
That's because the smarter people in the room are going to vote for you.
Well, and it's just
we're going to bring a wonderful gift to America on its 250th birthday, getting rid of Lindsey Graham, a traitor.
We were right behind him in Pickens, South Carolina during the Trump rally there, and he was roundly booed for 8 minutes. I mean, roundly booed. I couldn't believe he had the nerve to even go up on stage. And to me, it's the problem is the incumbency and how the D.C. swamp backs their own. And it's a huge problem, unfortunately, for anybody who wants to challenge him.
Yes. Donna, I ask Republicans when we present some of the old established guard, they say, how can you dare that says dump Lindsey, our senior senator in Congress? And I said, look, he's an employee of ours. And if we look at his voting record, how he's performing on conservative review, his conservative score is 43%, failing. His constitutional voting record in the Freedom Index, 57%, failing. We're all sworn to an oath, and under our Declaration of Independence, our forefathers said, God, our endowed creator, we have to support what he supports. We have unalienable rights that we have to protect, and that's my job if I get into the United States Senate, to protect your God-given rights. They're not government-given, they're God-given, and the first one is the right to life, and he's for murdering babies in the womb up to 15 weeks. That's not pro-life at all. So we can go further. We have a voting record of failing, his lifetime voting record. He's not honoring to protect our God-given rights as a U.S. senator that he swore an oath to. And now, it's just like I've talked to some of the people last week at CPAC, he's supporting Hamas through USAID. So why are we listening to Lindsey Graham about the Strait of Hormuz or what we need to do in wars when he's funding enemies of this country, supporting Hamas? He's put our budget, our taxes that we pay, we all pay taxes, and we're paying for the destruction of America with him supporting enemies of this nation. That's a traitor. I'm sorry, but he needs to be arrested. So it's time to get rid of traitors and get true Americans that are supporting America first. And he's been AWOL from South Carolina, and we saw on the news a couple of weeks ago, he says he's coming back to South Carolina to get our sons and daughters and take them over to the Middle East. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Just stay out of South Carolina. Live over there overseas in one of the Muslim countries that you support, because you don't support America.
Well, there had been reports, Mark, of yes, USAID money flowing probably not only to him, but a number of senators, both Republican and Democrat, which unfortunately, I mean, I'd love to do a forensic audit of these people, quite honestly. But he's never met a war he hasn't liked. I mean, he hated Trump the second Biden, quote unquote, got in on January 6th. Now he loves him. He just goes whichever way the wind blows. Zelensky offered him citizenship I mean, how many hundreds of millions, billions have we sent to Ukraine, which he loved, and now he's all for sending our boys and women over to the Middle East. I mean, no, not happening. This guy, he's never been married. He has no kids. He has no skin in the game except he's collecting millions and possibly tens of millions throughout his career in the Senate.
Yes. That's right. It's got to stop. Enough's enough. South Carolinians in another poll back in May with Rasmussen, 57% of South Carolinians said they love Donald Trump, but they will not support Lindsey Graham ever again. They will not vote for him. So it's going to happen, and we'll get equal representation over South Carolinians, somebody that they can trust, somebody that's from here, that lives here, that'll pick up the phone when people call and call them back. And we'll have the greatest staff that support me, and it'll be a wonderful thing. And it'll be such a huge, huge Doge event because trillions of dollars of waste, abuse, and fraud will come to an end.
Well, let me ask you this. Will you commit to me and Donna and our viewers that when you go to D.C. and you take Lindsey Graham's place, will you not use a single person that's currently on his staff?
Absolutely, I can. We can't have infiltration day one.
Because that's, as Mark, as you know, that's a big problem in D.C.
Yeah, we find that with
politicians
so many
come and go,
politicians.
but the staff stays the same.
Okay, June 9th is the primary. Yeah. He has to get 50% plus one. And chances are that's not going to happen. So then it could be a runoff between the two of you. But you got about a minute. Talk to the people out there.
Right. Listen, the polls for people that are conservative and they've been waiting to know if it's a good time to invest in us, it's time. The polls are showing it's happening. We're replacing Lindsey Graham in 2026 in one of the greatest upsets in America we've ever had in our history. Join us. Go to lynchforsenate.com. Sign up. Pray for us. This is all spiritual warfare. We know that. We need your prayers. And if you can donate, listen, all that helps. I would never spend $100 million, but my wife and I prayed about this. We run a debt-free business in its 74th year that I've managed the last 40 with God at the center, and we pushed $5 million of our own money, a check that I signed, not China, not the military-industrial complex I signed. So we're committed. We've got skin in the game. And listen, South Carolinians out there, the greatest thing we have found in this race is how many true patriots we have out here.
We got to go, man. We got a hard break. Mark Lynch, ladies and gentlemen, we endorse this, man.
FORSenate.com.
We'll be back.
The best magnesium for your brain. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Robert Love. I'm a neuroscientist.
Do you ever feel it? That something is wrong with the world, like a splinter in your mind? The Matrix isn't fiction. It's real. A prison built not of walls, but of lies. I saw it young. Hollywood dreams, silicon toys, news anchors with plastic smiles. All tools. Tools to shape perception, to cage thought. Behind the curtain, puppet masters move. They don't wear uniforms, they don't need guns. They run psyops so refined, the Army's ghost unit seems quaint. These are the true threats to America, to Trump's success. You ask who they are. If I told you, would you even believe me? Their network hums not in Congress or courts, but in the cold, sterile halls of globalist think tanks. Foundations with friendly names, but sinister goals. They fund chaos, open borders, climate hysteria, digital leashes. They write the scripts, censor the dissent, push CBDCs to track your every step. But I see through it, and so does he. Did you think the last administration was in charge? Orders signed with an auto pen while the world burned. Now Trump's returned. MAGA isn't a campaign, it's a counterattack. Knight to F3. The center seized, but the board is still crowded. Bureaucrats, media pawns, globalist bishops. They will not surrender the game because Trump is the one variable they cannot control, unbought, unbroken, the voice of the people. And if the people ever wake up, if they ever see the PSYOP for what it is, they'll burn the system to the ground. The real war has only just begun.
So secure, wrapped in control. Lies build walls around every soul. Shame the brave, left them behind. The greatest scam of all mankind. They called it science, we called it faith. Disintegrates, careers erased. Cry it loud, rewrite the lie. We survive manufactured consent.
Manufactured consent. You guys have heard a little bit of that song now twice, and we're very happy and very proud of the fact that RAV has picked us up on their music division, Real America's Music, and we're going to be writing material for that and releasing songs that we hope that you guys will embrace and support. But Manufactured Consent is a little bit of a different song that we wrote that really kind of talks about what happened during that 18 months of COVID.
Yeah.
And
you're getting quite a repertoire.
That's right.
You are getting quite
well,
a repertoire.
LJ's saying he wants me to do an album, and I think Hammer Chuck keeps going, when are you going to do an album? When are you going to do an album? Well, Hammer, we're going to do an album, and we're going to work also with AJ Gaynor and do some cool stuff all together here.
Hey, speaking of a repertoire.
That's right.
Do I say that correctly?
You did.
I don't know my French. Repertoire. Speaking of which, it would be...
Does your Doug bad? Does your Doug bad? That's not my Doug.
Oh, God, so
what's
bad.
happening, my dear friend? How are you, sir?
Hold on, let me say. Siaka Massaquoi.
That's right.
Siaka Massaquoi.
That's right.
I just don't know how to pronounce these words, but I know I got your name right. Because when we met you on January 6th, when the Jan Sixers were still in prison, it was, 22, 23, somewhere like that.
Yeah, 23 of them.
Yeah, and we were out at the RAV warehouse.
Yep.
Again, Tommy Robinson's going to be there on April 11th. So, folks, if you're out in Long Island, please go meet Tommy. But we got to meet you then, and the only way I remembered how to pronounce your name to introduce you was Massapequa, Massaquoi.
Yeah.
And it stuck.
Fair enough.
Okay, but let me get to the point with you do have a really good resume here. 15-year acting career, including shows like SWAT, TV's Lethal Weapon, Lady Bowlers, which highlighted your acting versatility, seen on PragerU, and you've seen them on all the major network news shows, including Cowboy Logic. All right, but then you kind of worked against Gavin Newsom on the recall there, and
that did amazing things for your acting career in mainstream acting, right?
Yeah, that put a target on my back.
A little bit.
You know what? It's like more and more I keep finding out that the state of California worked really hard to mess with me. And as we get closer to the whole, everything about J6, they really pushed them to come after me. We found out in our discovery.
Mm-hmm.
And we also found out that they assigned over 40 agents to focus on my misdemeanors. Yeah, so 10 agents per misdemeanor.
Wow.
Are you in Arctic Frost, you think? I'm sure you are.
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised. At this point, I got to get all the hits, all the Biden hits. So I'm sure I got it somewhere. I just haven't seen the confirmation yet.
There's a judicial watch for you that showed you were on the secret list for social media censorship. I mean, this is unbelievable. You did a lot of Trump rallies, obviously, but what you showed actually on January 6th up at the RAV warehouse was your great movie that you did that basically vindicated.
That was awesome, man.
Yeah. And how they raided your house. Talk a little bit about that. I mean, the FBI raided your house.
Yeah, it was June 10th of 2021, because the same year I actually met my wife, my now wife. and they came in with 15 plus agents, guns drawn, ARs in people's faces, grabbing people, taking them outside and cuffing them. And, you know, I will never forget the scene of opening my door and down the hallway, 2 agents just boom, turn their guns and their lights just right on me. FBI hands up, took us out, ended up searching our house, you know, took all my electronics because I was part of the warrants. And it was surreal, you know. And my lawyer, John Gross, was actually just telling me how proud he was of me when, you know, they were doing the interview, and how, you know, I know, and I'll say this out here, never talked to the feds, but I messed up because I was emotional at the time. And I talked to the feds, but he was like, man, I'm really proud of how you talked to him, because you were just like, you wouldn't let them break you, and you kind of got them to break. I'm like, well, you know, I was just speaking honestly about the fact that this is crazy and this isn't America, and my family moved away from a country that is doing this right now, and I can't believe you guys are doing it, like, you know, all that. But it was it had been ultimately start to finish, it was a crazy 4.5 year
it was
battle.
And I gotta say something, John Gross, your lawyer, I know.
Yes.
We
Awesome.
know.
He's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, John
what
is amazing.
a stand-up human being.
Yep.
You know, if
John
every
is,
lawyer, if every defense lawyer for J6 would have been like John Gross, nobody still would have won. Okay? But if prosecution had been like John Gross, none of this would have ever happened, because he's an honest, good man and a damn good lawyer. John, send that check, please, to Post Office Box. You're working on a new film. We got 3 minutes before we have to go to break here. Talk to us a little bit about this new film, because I can't wait to see you on the screen again.
Yeah. Well, so I'm working on a new film, and actually this time I have a little cameo because they have me as a producer on.
If it were really just wear and tear in your joints, then why are there days you wake up worse even though you didn't do anything? The answer is inside the joint, and no.
This film, where I'm working with Daily Wire once again and Bonfire Legend with their head producer Dallas Saunier. And we have Jonathan Majors is our main star of the movie, and right now our code name for it is Knuckle, but I'll let people figure out what the real name is. And so it's just the way we describe it is like Die Hard on a college campus. It's amazing. We have the young kids, the college campus gets taken over. And then you have these young kids that have to band together, almost like Die Hard, but also like Red Dawn.
I was just going to say Red Dawn. Sounds like Red Dawn. Yeah.
Well, talk about what Andrew Breitbart
it's been
said.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, politics is downstream from culture, as we saw in our headlines. How kids know all the cultural stuff, but don't know a damn thing about history.
Exactly, they don't know it. So, I mean, I would actually argue now, because this hasn't been the first time Caitlin's done a clips like this, or clips like this have been done over my entire life, and you realize people don't know what's going on politically. I would argue, much like what you guys are doing, what we're doing with Daily Wire and Bonfire, it's like we got to get in the game of the culture battle even more. And we have a lot of our talking heads, which are great, but these kids know the storytellers. So we have to build the storytellers more. And I think last time I was on your show, this was something I was saying, that this is the avenue we have to take, because if they're able to repeat those people, each of those people, from your Bad Bunny to, DeLupa or whoever she said, they're going to listen to them about who to vote for. That's what I got from that thing, is like, oh, they pay attention to what Bad Bunny says. So if we don't have enough faces in that game, enough voices in that game, then of course they don't know what's going on, because they're from where they're looking, we're not even there to tell our story. So we have to start and continue to invest into our.
Sadly, they murdered one of our greatest storytellers.
Yeah.
So we got to go into the bullpen, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to find these people that can step up and fill that void. And I don't see it being one person. When they took out Charlie, when they murdered Charlie, they took out the Cy Young winner. And and we've got to have multiple people step up. We're going to have you back, brother, after the break, but Charlie, I miss Charlie.
Yeah. I mean, again, he went onto the campuses to talk to people at their level, and he was getting through to them, and obviously the powers that be couldn't have that. We'll be back with more after this.
Hello, everybody. Kelly Meggs. I'm sure you know me at this point if you watch Don and Don at all. But tonight I let the dogs out for the last time and was kind of doing my nightly ritual. I sit outside a lot because I don't like being inside because of the jail cell thing. But I reflected a lot on this past week and with Charlie Kirk being assassinated and everything that happened with him. You know, our prayers all go out to him, but we also have a sense of what can we do? What can we do as Americans and as citizens to stand up against this? And what we can do is we can support companies that support us and support what we believe in our country. And Sugar Creek Goods is one of those companies. I just took a shower, like before bed. That's what I do every night. And I thought about this while I was in the shower. I'm like, this is a fantastic product. Not only is it an amazing product, but it's a company that supports our beliefs and in America. So if you want to do something, use your promo code 1776 and make a difference. Buy from an American company that supports Americans. It supports what we believe in. Not what the media and everybody else tells you to believe in, but the truth. Use your promo code 1776. And God bless you. And God bless America.
You want to pay J6ers? You're damn right I want to pay J6ers. If you got wronged by the government, then you should be made right. That's America.
Them now. Congress,
not holding
you people
breath.
are trying to write legislation that would prevent the federal government from helping to financially rebuild the lives of J6ers that were absolutely destroyed, and they were destroyed because their constitutional rights were obliterated.
Yeah. And yet they'll put
and
up
we've
a
got
plaque.
one of them on with us right now. Siaka, brother, you had no constitutional rights for 4 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Despite what John Gross tried to do.
Mm-hmm. And you've done, oh, go ahead.
So I was saying again, love to John, but to just be on the Quiet Skies list for 3 years and hadn't been charged or found guilty of anything. Mm-hmm. Like, I think people don't understand that list wasn't just like, oh, uncomfortable flight times. That your government deemed you unworthy without any type of recourse, without any type of due processes. The left screams about this for non-citizens. They sat there and did this to a bunch of people only because they were in an area supporting a president or an idea they don't want us to support anymore. So people have to understand, we talked about it earlier about the Secretary of State's list that then, get you censored off social media. You can't participate in the public square. What happened to January 6ers, and unfortunately, I think the move to sweep it under the rug is a very furious move. And we shouldn't let it happen because, they're already starting to put up the plaque of the police officers who were hurt on that day. I'm like, what about the 4 people who were murdered on that day? Right. Do they not count? Right? The left has us saying no names of the criminals that get killed by cops all the time. But right now, these innocent people who were standing around, who just climbed into a window, who was standing in in a tunnel and getting her head beat in over and over and over again.
Yeah, that was just thrown out.
Victoria
That was
White,
thrown out.
who was lucky enough to survive, her case got thrown out. The guy who got thrown off the balcony, pushed off the balcony,
Vargas.
his case is, I didn't want to say his name, but his case got thrown out. He got no recourse whatsoever. Obviously, Michael Byrd is still promoted, and he shot Ashley Babbitt in cold blood on video.
Cold blood.
And here's what's troubling. You've got Mark Wayne Mullen that's going to be the next DHS secretary who embraced Michael Byrd.
Well, and we talked about this because the bottom line is they drink the Kool-Aid in D.C.
We've got enemies within, ladies and gentlemen. That's a huge problem.
We also have to remember, regardless on what party's in there, government in itself is its own. That's the dragon, right? When you see that in Revelation and throughout the Bible, when they talk about the dragon is governmental systems. Mm-hmm. So if we look at it, it's always going to want to preserve itself, almost irregardless on what side you put in. One side may be a little more magnanimous towards the people than the other, but as a whole, the entity needs and wants to survive. So it's not going to really cut its legs off, cut its nose off to spite its face, like a lot of what we were trying to see right now with making sure you do the right thing by your people. So I would, and I saw you guys talking about the election and the primaries coming up right now, or, the midterms. I would argue, guys, a lot of people saying, these rhinos and put these people in, and it's a, Democrat running as a Republican. It's on us as citizens to get in there on the primaries, because the primaries are where you're going to find your good candidates. By the time it gets to a general, it's already, and you hadn't paid attention, it's a curated candidate that has been bought and paid for three times over.
Yep. Amen.
So plain, and trust me, I know the voter rolls and the IDs will play a huge part. But what can we do now? How about you show up for the guy who is a local baker that cares about the community and been there for 30, 40 years, and not wait till November comes around and go, oh, okay, now it counts. And then all you do is complain about the guy that made it through because you were too busy to show up.
Well, it's like this state you're in. This state you're in filming this movie right now, South Carolina. I can't find, and I challenge anybody, go find a normal human being that's a resident of South Carolina that goes, yeah, Lindsey Graham's the bomb.
Yeah.
Nobody says that. Nobody says that. And we've thrown our weight behind Mark Lynch. Mm-hmm. And, but it's, you've got to make a difference, ladies and gentlemen. You've got to make a difference.
But it's thanks to you that we got hold of Ryan Millsap, who we want for Congress here in Georgia, because he owned the film company. I guess you worked with him. And he owned what I guess was called Cop City, or right next to it. So he's a victim of what's going on.
I wouldn't mess with him, man. You've been with him in person, would you? I wouldn't mess with him.
You know what Ryan said to me? I go, hey, Ryan, man, I got to see if I can get you on Cowboy Logic. He goes, sounds like the way I live my life. I'm like, oh, there you go. So,
well, it's true. It's true. So let me ask you this. AI is really coming into play a lot. Is AI helping with the production of your new movie that you're in, that if you read his hat, everybody, that's okay.
What hat? I don't see that hat.
What hat? There's no
that hat. Okay, there's your movie right there.
So AI, we're going to get that out in AI. No, AI actually... we're utilizing it a little bit just to kind of enhance some scenes. I mean, a lot of companies now are going to do that. I know there is the, kind of the fear out there of AI is going to take over everything. But I think what we have to remember is, just like when cars were invented, they said cars would take over and, people lose their jobs. And while some of that was true, we still adjusted as human beings to the new technology. If we see this as a tool we can use to better what we're doing, I think it's going to be a time for, somebody said this is going to be the great age of creation. So I think that what's happening, you have your independent films like ourselves that doesn't have the $120, $150 million budget. You can use AI to help tweak some things here and there, but it's still what's going to move us at the end of the day is going to be that human connection. No matter what, we're seeing Brad Pitt versus Tom Cruise on top of a building fighting, and it looks so real. but we know it's not real. I think subconsciously, as long as we have that real storytelling and real acting involved, yes, AI can be cute and cool, and there will be a lane for it because it's just how it works when it comes to life and new technology. But as long as I believe we stay closer to that human connection, these independent films like what we're doing here, they're going to be strong. They're going to be powerful because people always starve for human connection. We saw it during COVID.
Yeah.
People said, screw it. I'm going outside and I'm connecting with my neighbors regardless of what the government tells me. So
I have my
AI
SAG
isn't
card.
something to be afraid of.
I have my SAG card, and I always keep this here when
Are you
people
still-
like you are
still?
on. Yeah, NBC Universal, from when I was on The Equalizer back in the 80s, probably before you were born.
I hope you're covering our address up.
No, it's actually, it has the wrong address anyhow. It's my New Jersey address.
Oh, okay.
69 cents. 69 cents.
Oh.
I get, and
You
I
beat
don't.
me. You still I got like 7 cents the other day for something. You still get 69 from a show that was from
That
the
was a
80s?
good one.
Wow.
Yeah, I've gotten a few for 6 cents.
That's a 3-year payment.
Hold on, here's another one. Yeah, here's one for 33 cents. There's another one for 33 cents. I keep them on hand.
She doesn't cash them just to screw up their books.
So ridiculous. So your movie's going to be out hopefully in the fall, huh? This is moving fast.
Yeah.
Very cool. Rita's
Yeah. You know,
hat,
actually,
folks.
that's one of the things they wanted to do is to be able to put out. We talk about content. We talk about culture. We want to be able to be in the culture more consistently instead of 1 or 2 movies a year. We're looking at possibly 3 to 4, and that gets us through all the quarters when it comes down to the mindset of each for our country. So
nice.
We're trying
look,
to be aggressive.
Look down
with it.
just for a second, just for a brief second. Just
Look down so we
down
can
for a second.
Look at your hat.
No, keep looking down.
Look down more. There you go.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
We don't want to say that,
I dropped my
anybody, but you just remember that. Hey, as you know, we go to the most beautiful national anthem ever sung at the close of all of our shows. That by our beloved J6ers in C2B. Gentlemen, hats off.
Hey, gotta
you
move
can
your
leave
hat
yours
now.
on. You
Oh,
can leave
can he?
yours on if you need to.
All right, there he goes.
All right.
Be on the safe side.
Hands over your hearts. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for trusting us with 2 hours of your valuable time. Siaka, we love you like a brother, man.
God bless.
Thank you, guys. God bless you.
All right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.